What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Gaming with the Bros podcast.
Episode number 32.
32?
It's the end of June. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, it's like, I feel like the fastest month of this year. It just kind of like flew by.
For sure.
Yeah, it just like
Yeah,
flew by.
yeah. It's been weird how fast these months have been going. I thought they were going to be like, this is the slowest half of any year ever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just the weeks just fly by, and then like for the first time ever, I feel like the weekends are longer than the actual work week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But
and we say this a lot, but it's like every week is blending together.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Yeah, it's good. I like it. Like I like, just plowing through work and then to the weekends and stuff. But yeah, it's cool. How was your week so far? Or how'd your week go?
It's been pretty good. So the people watching might see that I'm in a different location. I'm actually down in Florida, which is the up and coming epicenter of the coronavirus. So it's good to be here.
It's good to be alive.
No, went down to Charleston this weekend. There was supposed to be a wedding and it got canceled, and a bunch of my friends just decided to still go. So we went down. Didn't really go out in Charleston at all.
Yeah, hot spot.
Trying to be, another hot spot. Just we've called it the Tour de Corona because we're just hitting South Carolina and Florida.
Now, did y'all go out? I know you guys had discussed going out maybe one night or something, and then kind of keep it low key.
We didn't end up doing that.
Okay.
We had two Airbnb houses, and the other one did.
Yeah.
They went out and just had dinner, but we just stayed in and made pizzas and chilled out, which is nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But we went out to the beach and had a good time. A little too much fun on Friday night, so Saturday was a little more low key for me. But
nice.
But it was a great weekend. And then on Sunday we drove the 7.5 hours from Charleston down to Florida.
Ugh.
So it's been a lot of driving.
Yeah.
Over the past week.
Definitely.
Always fun. I'm not looking forward to the ride back up because it's going to be if we're going to Charlotte, it's going to be 12-ish hours.
Phew. Yeah, that's a long trip.
I don't know. I want to stop somewhere and at least split the drive up, but I don't even know where we'd stop.
You stopping at a hotel or something?
I don't even know if we would stop in a hotel if we did. Are hotels operational right now? I don't even know.
I feel like they are. I would imagine if Airbnbs are open. Granted that's someone's house, but for the most part. But I think they are. I feel like they are. But I don't know.
Yeah, might try that. But we're down here for, not really sure how long. We're down at our grandma's Florida house right now, and then her Alicia's parents are building a house, or they already built a house, and they're closing on it this week. So we're gonna go there towards the end of the week and stay for a few weeks.
Sweet.
We're just gonna be chilling in Florida.
Heck yeah.
That's cool.
I love Florida.
Hot down here.
Yeah. Yeah. At least you get the rain showers every other hour.
Mm-hmm. I went out skateboarding a little bit, just across the street.
Yeah.
And was immediately drenched in sweat.
Oh yeah, I remember the last time I went down there. I think I ran around the block and I was just soaked. I was
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. I'm just so wet.
How's your week?
Oh, it was good. Like I said earlier, is just kind of blended together. Friday night, our parents watched the kids or whatever. They had gotten a tent last weekend, and hey buddy. You can go eat your ice cream? Yeah. Go get it.
Oh, ice cream.
Okay. But they had gotten a tent, and Kaylee slept on the hammock outside the tent, and then my mom and dad and Kellen slept in the tent. They said they fell asleep
Nice.
about 10:30. They saw like a ton of deer and stuff out there.
Really?
Yeah, and they said at like around 2:30, they heard like a barking sound, like a squeaky bark, and they looked out the tent and there was like a fox underneath Kaylee's hammock. So
Oh no.
after it went away, they came and picked her up and put her in the tent just in case. I don't know if foxes really attack like that, but just in case. But they said it
Yeah,
was
you never
fun.
know.
Like other than everyone kind of woke up at like 6:30 in the morning, just because you're
Yeah.
outside, it's getting a little hotter.
It's light. And...
Getting a little warm, whatever. But they said they had a good time, and then me and Brittany ended up going over to Ham's, our local like bar or whatever, and had some dinner, and then they had turned part of the parking lot into like they put down like a carpet, but it kind of like looks like grass turf or something like that, and they had like a bunch of chairs and tables out there, so it was like an expanded outdoor area for everybody. So that was cool. Went out there. Then a couple of our friends showed up. We ended up getting a little bit more drunk than we had planned on, but it was all fun. And
yeah.
Which is funny because in North Carolina at 5 on Friday, it was required to wear a mask. In which we did. We walked in and nobody was wearing masks. So I was like, well, I guess we're just not gonna wear masks. I don't know. It was weird. I was talking to people, but like I don't understand why they didn't enforce this when this all first started happening, but I don't know.
This is North Carolina.
Yeah, who knows? And then Saturday night we ended up we got a bunch of crabs from like this local like seafood shop and boiled up a ton of crabs and stuff, did like a shrimp boil. And then our friend brought over his projector and we watched a movie outside on that, put like a sheet up or whatever, and did like a movie on the projector, which was pretty cool.
What'd you watch?
Pineapple Express.
Nice. Classic.
Well, Brittany had never seen it, so.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we were talking about it one time, and she was like, "No, I've never seen it." We're like, "What? It's like such a great movie. It's so funny." Yeah. Other than that, pretty chill week. Pretty chill week. All right, you want to go ahead and dive into what we've been playing?
Yeah. So, I guess we can save Last of Us until the end, or when do you want to dive into
Let's save it for the very, very end of the show.
Cool. Okay.
And I'll put up I'll make sure to put spoilers up on the headline, and I'll put a timestamp for the spoilers, but it will be the end of the show, so that way you don't have to skip around if you haven't seen or played The Last of Us yet.
Just drop off.
Cool. I guess I'll go first. Other than Last of Us, I jumped back into Spider-Man, finished that third DLC, working on 100%ing it, and then I plan on jumping into Lost Legacy, the Uncharted game. So
you picked that up a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. I picked it up like the week of Last of Us coming out and just haven't touched it yet. And I plan on doing another playthrough of The Last of Us, but we'll see. I might not rush it. I might just kind of gradually hit it because I kind of want a platinum game, like get all the sides, like collectibles and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I heard it was like relatively easy to do it with
yeah.
Last of Us 2.
Yeah, there's no
it's
difficulty. Yeah, it's all collectible stuff. Upgrading all of your stuff, so there's no difficulty ones, which is kind of nice. I kind of like games that do that because I don't know. Sometimes like I don't want games to be super hard unless I'm playing like Dark Souls and I expect it to be hard. But
yeah,
I don't know if I would want to play The Last of Us on like insane difficulty or whatever it is.
No, I don't think I would. I remember wanting to platinum Uncharted 4, but there were some like crazy hard trophies that you had to get. I think you had to beat the game with different difficulties too, and I was like, yeah, I don't really want to.
Yeah,
go through all that.
I did that with Uncharted 2. I think I platinumed the game, but they added multiplayer trophies to it, and I was like, nah.
See, that kind of ruins it.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of like. I mean, I haven't been like into necessarily trophies and achievements in a long time. But those are the things that I didn't like too much was the multiplayer stuff. I mean, if it's based off like leveling up, but I remember like back in the day, Halo was like kill 3 people at the same time with like the Spartan laser, and I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Like,
Oh yeah.
so.
And also, like, if you're going back to a game, like an older game,
Mm-hmm.
that multiplayer server might be offline now. Like, you might not
Exactly. Yeah.
even feasibly be able to complete all the
Yeah.
achievements or trophies.
Exactly. But yeah, that's all I've been playing. Just Spider-Man and The Last of Us.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, so I'll go ahead. So I finished The Last of Us on Tuesday, and then I was like, I don't know if I really want to play anything else the rest of the week because I left Thursday for Charleston.
Yeah.
Or for High Point. I was like, yeah, like my main goal was to finish Last of Us by
For
the
a
time
trip.
I left, and for the trip. So I think I just played a little bit of Session, and that's really it. But today today and yesterday a little bit, I picked up Witcher again, and
Nice.
I'm playing through Hearts of Stone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and man, this story, like, there's been like barely any like actual gameplay, but the story's just been phenomenal. It's just been like watching like an episode of The Witcher or something like that,
Sweet.
or
Dude,
watching a
I've heard
movie.
such good things about those 2 pieces of DLC. I keep meaning to pick it up when it goes on sale, which it'll go on sale again eventually. But yeah, I've heard really good stuff about those 2 pieces of DLC.
Yeah, I heard the story is better in Hearts of Stone, and then like the gameplay and area is better in Blood and Wine, because
Yeah.
Blood and Wine like actually has like a new region that you get to.
Oh,
And
cool.
It's pretty expansive.
Sweet.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, DLC in that game is crazy good.
Yeah, I always liked when games. I remember back in the day, like Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, when they added like the Shivering Isles and stuff like that. Like I remember that piece of DLC was huge because it had like a whole another.
Yeah.
I don't want to say continent because it was like kind of you had to like warp to it or something, but yeah, that was super cool. I always enjoy when they add stuff to the game, not necessarily just have side missions and stuff within the actual world. So that's always cool.
Yeah. And I think Skyrim had a mix of both, right? Because they had DLC where you could become like a vampire.
Oh
And I
yeah, like
think
vampire,
that's
werewolf.
still,
Yeah.
yeah. Or maybe werewolf. Or maybe both.
I don't know. I always
Yeah, I
was
think
like,
it
I
might have been
keep
both.
wanting to like pick that game up again and just playing.
On Switch, or
No, just like on Xbox.
you
Because like
should get it on Switch.
I have I had gotten it like a while ago. I don't know, the millionth time they put out Skyrim on something different, but it was on Xbox One or whatever. But yeah, I always have an itching to go back to that.
Yeah, two like full um Switch ports that I don't regret buying are Skyrim and Witcher 3. I think those, like, even though they were full price, like $60, like, still so worth it to
Yeah, and especially to be able to play it in
play
handheld
again.
and not necessarily be bound to your TV or something like that. Well, it's funny. I got to tell a quick story. So like I've been playing Last of Us purely on like the big screen. So I've been out in the living room playing it or whatever. And this today I had been done, and Brittany's like, "All right, I'm ready for you to be done with that game so we can have the TV back." And so like last night I was playing Spider-Man, and I said, no, I was playing The Last of Us. And I told Kellen was like, "I want to watch TV in the big screen." I said, "Well, one more night, and then you can have it back." And then like this morning, I didn't move it back. And then at like my lunch break, I was like, "I'm gonna play like 15, 20 minutes of Spider-Man." And then Kellen had came inside from playing outside, and he comes downstairs and he says, "No, no, Daddy, not again." I was like, "All right, man, you got it."
Can he like? I guess he can't be in the room while you're playing it, right?
I was
Or while you're playing Last of Us.
I was playing it last night, and I kept having to pause it because like it got super graphic, especially towards like the end of that game. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but he actually likes watching me play Spider-Man. He likes the me to change the suits and stuff. But yeah, he couldn't really watch The Last of Us. So it would probably give him nightmares.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What else you been playing?
That's just Witcher, and I don't know. Like I've been kind of going through my arsenal of games, trying to figure out if I want to like go back and finish one or replay one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came across Golf Story again, and like I kind of want to replay it just because Sports Story is coming out
Yeah.
later this year, and like I've said this before, but like Golf Story is one of the funniest games I've ever played.
I need to play it.
And you really, really need to play it because, God, it's so funny.
Yeah, I've heard like nothing but great things about that game. So
I think that was it was from Sidebar Games. And I think that was the first game that they released.
okay,
So
sweet.
It's pretty impressive first game for sure.
Yeah, cool.
That's been pretty much it for me. Like I think I might jump into that at some point, but yeah,
cool.
just
I did
just Last of Us 2.
I did check out Session. I played like the tutorial of it. It's pretty cool, man. It's like I've forgotten how kind of complicated like Skate's controls were. Like, with doing the half circles and stuff like that. And yeah, it took me like 10 minutes to like really get my bearing around it. And then you having to use like the triggers to turn and stuff. Yeah,
that part took a while to get used to.
Yeah, it took me a second because I guess I couldn't remember if Skate's like that with like the triggers or not, but it was yeah, I'd just forgotten how those controls worked.
With Skate, you controlled like your skate, like your character movement with the left stick, and then you just use the right stick for tricks.
Yeah. Okay.
But this one like kind of turns it up to 10 with all the.
Yeah, it seemed a lot more complicated.
Controls. Yeah, but it feels really good once you get the hang of it.
Yeah. So. Can you get off your board in that game, or is it just on the board?
No, you can get off. You just press Y.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, I think it's Y.
Cool. Sweet. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news here. Got some pretty decent stuff this week. On Wednesday, I guess I don't know. I was up. I watched the stream for the Pokemon United game that got announced. It's like the MOBA version of Pokemon for the Switch and for mobile phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It looked. I mean, it's free to start or whatever.
Like good.
It looks cool. I'll definitely try it when it comes out. But dude, people lost their freaking minds over this thing. Like
they were so mad.
Like it was the most disliked video on the Pokemon channel's YouTube page ever. And I was like, are you I say, so they did kind of troll you, I guess. Because like in last week's Pokemon Direct or whatever you want to call it, they said next week we got to, we're going to talk about one more thing or whatever. So they kind of hyped it up, I guess. A lot of people speculated that it was going to be Let's Go's version of Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Silver Gold, whatever you want to call those games. That's what a lot of people thought it was going to be. It was not. It was like 11 minutes of this thing. Like I said, it looked cool. I'm not necessarily mad about it or upset. I was already up, so I didn't get up specifically for it. I know it was at 9:00, so it was 6 a.m. on the West Coast. So I guess if you got up at 6:00 in the morning to watch that, yeah, I'd be kind of bummed. But
you'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, but like I just don't get it. I don't understand why people lost their minds, but I don't know.
I mean, there are like a few schools of thought with it. Sorry, I'm plugging in my computer, but
you're fine.
I think people generally just hate MOBAs, and think it's like an outdated genre of video game. They're like, oh, if they were to release this back in 2011, back when League was actually popular, like sure, why not? But like League of Legends is still insanely unpopular,
Yeah,
like insanely popular today. Like,
and everyone that's a diehard Pokemon fan is at least gonna try it because it's Pokemon and it's gonna make money and I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not a
I mean, hell,
huge
I'm gonna try it.
yeah, I'm not a huge Pokemon. Like I don't play every Pokemon game there is, but it looks cool. I mean, and it's like cartoony. It's got the Pokemon skin, the Pokemon aesthetic. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see.
Like
We'll see how it looks.
I haven't been able to get into League or um I don't know what the other one was. The other one that
Dota.
Riot. Dota, yeah, Dota. But like I'm gonna try this one out because I mean it's at least something familiar. Like Pokemon is familiar, and being able to evolve your characters over the course of a game seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
Like mechanics wise,
pretty
it looks
decent.
like a good MOBA. But
Yeah, looks like a good like. I don't mean, well, I think the biggest things I've never actually played a MOBA before, but what I've heard from listening to people talk about it, like other podcasts I listen to, those matches are like 30, 40 minutes. Like I don't have a lot of time for that.
Insanely long.
I mean, I do have the time for that, but I don't want to spend that time on one match, you know. So I've just never been. I mean, I've
these
watched.
Are pretty short.
Yeah, I've watched. I think they're like 10 minutes long, maybe shorter than that. I don't know. But I mean, I've seen like streams of Dota and stuff like that in League, and it doesn't look appealing to me. But this looks way less complicated, and it looks like it could be like a nice little time killer. So
yeah, especially if it's like since it's on iOS as well as Switch, like I'm sure your accounts
transfer
like seamlessly transfer between both of those platforms. So like that'd be cool. Like
one would
I
think,
think
but it's Nintendo, so we'll see.
I think one thing this past week has shown is that like if the internet doesn't love something, then it's gonna get like an extraordinary amount of hate. But like a pretty
Yeah,
niche group of people. But
yeah,
like with Pokemon Unite and Last of Us 2, which has just been getting like flamed on Twitter and
yeah.
YouTube, and I mean, it's just upsetting.
Yeah, it's annoying. I mean, you had kind of referenced that last week, and I've been kind of quiet, I guess, or not quiet, but like I haven't really been reading and too much. And then like as soon as I beat it last night, I looked up like the bullet point lists of the spoilers and stuff just to kind of get like a reference of what people are talking about. And I don't know. Yeah, if you don't play, we'll get to it later, but yeah. But yeah, Pokemon United, it looks cool. I'm gonna try it out. I think people just need to calm down about it. It's not the end of the world with this stuff.
I also think that there is a certain expectations management on Nintendo's side that kind of went wrong because they could have easily added this to the end of their
Yeah,
Pokemon
definitely.
Directs last or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I would not have. I would have maybe done that with the direct, and then what happened on Wednesday, maybe put Pokemon Snap or something, and do like a little bit more gameplay or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, the way they had just said at the end of that stream, it was just something big's coming next week, and I mean, it could like look by this time next year, it could be like the biggest thing ever. We have no idea, but I just
exactly
people are just upset about it. But it's gonna be okay. We'll survive.
It's gonna be all right.
What's the next story?
All right. Next up, so apparently the Xbox Series S, which is I'm assuming smaller but less powerful and cheaper version of the Series X, is going to be revealed in August, is what is rumored. I think originally it was supposed to be announced, or it was rumored to supposed to have been announced during E3. But obviously, I mean, that got pushed back and canceled and everything. So we might see another version of the Series X, which makes sense. I mean, given the last few years of Xbox, but
I really hope they don't wait till August to reveal this thing, because if they're waiting until then I mean, who knows when we'll get a price point? They've got to start getting pre-orders and like marketing these things with the prices that they have. This is like I think it's Project Lockhart is like its code name or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like, there's always been kind of rumored to be 2 Xboxes. One is like the Series X that we know about, that's stronger, more powerful, and the Series S is kind of like the cheaper version. Maybe no hard drive. Maybe it's just no hard drive, and it's just like, you know, Microsoft's option or fight against Sony's hard driveless PS5. But
you mean disk drive?
oh yeah, sorry, disk drive. Yeah, not hard drive. Yeah, that'd be bad.
Like, no hard drive. What the?
Disk drive. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so maybe no disk drive, and it's cheaper. I don't know how much cheaper it's going to be. Kind of same thing with the PS5. We still don't know the prices between those two. But this one was always kind of rumored to be less powerful. So, but yeah, I feel like August is just too far, like too long. Like I feel like maybe
It's
next
too
month,
late to get.
maybe next month with their first party stuff, they can like put it on the end of that. But I don't know. It's just.
Did we have to wait this long for price in the last generation? Like I
I
don't
don't.
remember.
I don't think so.
Sony
I think we knew about it.
Microsoft. It's like they're having a staring contest.
Yeah, it's
seeing
just a
who's gonna
standoff.
blink
It's
first.
just a standoff at this point. I just think neither company wants to have the higher or the more expensive console. And I think Sony's is going to be more expensive than Microsoft's, but
Yeah, I think
we'll
so.
see.
Just go ahead and do your 500 or 600. Like it's gonna be one of those two.
Yeah, I feel like the PS5 is going to be 6. I got a feeling, and then maybe the discless one will be 550 or 500. But we'll see. And I mean, I could see Microsoft's being 600 as well. That's kind of what I was thinking all along with 600, and then maybe their cheaper option being 5. I don't know, but yeah, I think it's just time that we get these prices already.
Yeah, just lay it on the table.
Yeah.
You know, just rip off the Band-Aid at this point.
Yep. Next up is Cyberpunk had their Night City reveal event kind of thing. I didn't watch any of this, to be honest. I mean, I saw like the articles and stuff about it, but I just didn't really. I saw the trailer for it. One of the trailers that they had released, but I didn't see any. I don't know if they had any demos or anything. I just didn't watch anything.
I watched a little bit of it. I was in the car while it was airing, so I just watched like the main like 3-minute trailer that they added, and then a little bit of the stream. I think like the biggest takeaway was you can like not take over people, but you can go into other people's minds and see their visions, and you can kind of like play a separate story as them.
Okay, yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know if they really announced anything further than that, but
yeah, I know they said they're going to put out more stuff closer, like as the months roll by until November 17th or 19th, whenever that game comes out. I feel like I'm just not hyped for this thing, and I should be. And maybe like when it gets closer to the actual release date, I'll pick it up. I mean, I definitely plan on playing it. I mean, I love The Witcher 3, and I just everything that I've seen about this game looks cool. I'm not really hyped for it, man. I don't know.
it's almost intimidating on how like large scale it's gonna be.
Yeah, as much customizing you can do. I mean, you could literally be whatever you want, do it. Like, it just sounds crazy. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just like not ready for like a giant open world game like that.
One that you can't necessarily jump in and out of.
Yeah.
In 30-minute increments.
Maybe that's like it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how hyped I am for it. If this was like, if I was 17 and this was coming out this year, I'd be like, you know, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so ready to play this giant RPG.
Yeah, I think I'm just more overshadowed by like just the consoles. Like, I just want to see more stuff that's going to be like day one with the consoles, and I don't know, just Microsoft stuff, because we know everything's coming to Game Pass. So like, obviously we're still getting Halo day one. As of right now, who knows? But
it's cool that it's gonna be free with Game Pass too.
Yeah, yeah. I like
Like
we talked about it before, but Game Pass is such a it's such a killer app for Xbox now.
yeah,
But
and if you enter code Gaming with the Bros on GamePass.com, you can get 20% off. I'm just kidding.
yeah, I mean, we'll take a sponsorship. I mean, I'll talk about it. We already talk about it, so it's free anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, I'll talk about it all day. But
What's next? Had a little Crash Bandicoot news.
we got some news on how many levels there are going to be, and apparently it's going to be pretty huge. So in total, there are going to be 100 levels, which is as much as the entire Insane trilogy. So
Yeah.
the first 3 games had less than 100 levels, and this one's going to have 100 levels, and it's going to feature in-game purchases. I think in the form of like character skins.
Okay.
Which whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I don't really care.
I feel like the cynical side of me is like, this is being published by Activision, right? I think so.
Yeah, published by Activision.
I feel like this is Activision's like greedy claws getting a hold of this game and saying you need to put this in here, just because like these character platformers have been doing so well between like Spyro, obviously the Crash Insane trilogy. So yeah, I don't know.
And the jury's definitely still out on like newer platformers because like they've just been relying on these like remasters, like the SpongeBob one and Spyro, Crash. Has there been any other big big platformer remasters?
No, not remasters. I don't think. No. Speaking of
SpongeBob,
I heard it was not so great.
Yeah, I heard they kind of cut corners, and it wasn't the remaster that people were hoping was going to be.
Yeah, it was
having seen Crash and Spyro.
Yeah, well, it looked like more of like a reskinning. Like it just like looks way better. I heard like the controls are just about the same as the 2003 version. So I can only imagine how like crappy that feels to control. So
right, that one was THQ Nordic or THQ.
Yeah, THQ. I don't know if it was Nordic, but it was definitely THQ back in the day. But it's $30, so I mean, if you fall into that nostalgia, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah, and I think there have been price drops on it already. If you're like still interested in it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you'll be able to. Yeah. Animal Crossing. I don't know anything about this update. I've also have not played Animal Crossing in like a month, so I don't know.
I picked it up the other day.
Is it going to bring me back in?
I don't know. Do you love swimming?
I do love swimming.
Okay, that's really it. That's really all they are adding.
So you can swim to get more seashells?
You can get new seashells and special items that are on the bottom of the ocean.
Hell yeah, like boots.
Boots and tires. And what else could you find?
All the washed away Easter eggs that no one wanted.
Yeah, all the Easter eggs that everyone tossed into the ocean because they had too many. And then I think there's a new salesperson that you can like sell your seashells to, like specialty sell your seashells. That was like that's the big update for summer update number 1. And then Golovin, the guy who always washes up on the island.
Yeah, the drunk guy, yeah.
Yeah, the drunk sailor. Yeah, he has like a new story beat.
Okay, cool.
That you can play through. Presumably like in the same realm as finding all of his missing pieces.
Yeah.
His missing electronic pieces.
Cell phone parts, whatever it is.
His radio cell phone parts. Cool. So yeah, it's just gonna be something like that. And then they have another summer update coming in July, I think. July.
I need to pick it back
August. Up. Yeah, it's not as overwhelming to jump back into as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. Except
for all of the what's all the not moss.
Oh, like the shrub, like the weeds.
The weeds, yeah. Except all the weeds. There's so many weeds everywhere.
I didn't think about that. Like they can't clean that stuff up while you're gone. I feel like nobody does anything on an island.
No, they just sit there and relax, and you're in charge of keeping the island perfect.
Yeah, and then they get mad at you and whatever.
Then leave your island. Ugh.
All right, so last up is the Harry Potter RPG is set to be or rumored to be released next year, 2021. This is like a long rumored game, and I think it was supposed to be announced at E3 this year by Warner Brothers alongside, I think, a new Batman game maybe.
Oh yeah, new Batman.
And I think
a new Avengers game.
It's a new rumored to be the Suicide Squad by developed by Rocksteady, the ones that did like the original trilogy for Arkham.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I
mean, you're bigger into those games than I am, but
yeah, I mean, I feel like, and I'm not a huge comic book guy. Like I've never actually sat down and read a comic book or whatever, but from what I saw of the Suicide Squad that was in the movie theaters, it was hot garbage. So I just feel like the hype for Suicide Squad is a little high for no reason, I guess. Because I think they were rumored to be making a Justice League game, but they also, I think one of the titles that was leaked was the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League or something. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like two sides of that. So we'll see.
It'd be pretty cool. I mean,
for sure. But this Harry Potter RPG is rumored to be like an open world Harry Potter. So I mean, hey, that could be really cool. Harry Potter's a pretty cool world.
Yes. And they really haven't done like a good Harry Potter game.
No, not really.
I remember playing the DS Harry Potter.
I think a couple ones on the PS2 were pretty well regarded, but I mean that was 10 plus years ago now, so who knows how those hold up or whatever.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see like gameplay or footage of it nonetheless, just to kind of, because we've heard about this for so long.
Yeah, it's been rumored forever.
Last year. So I'm just excited to finally see it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, that is going to do it for the news. Do you want to take like a little break, or do you want to dive right into The Last of Us?
I'm good to dive in if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good to go. All right, so full on spoilers from this point for The Last of Us. You have been warned. Like I said, I'm going to put a timestamp on the episode. That way you guys know. But from this point on, it's nothing but The Last of Us 2.
Yep.
Everything and The Last of Us 1, I guess, as well. We'll definitely be talking about that one in regards to the story of Last of Us 2. All right, you ready?
Let's just start from the beginning. Or start with the beginning main story beat.
Okay. So yeah, it takes place 5 years after The Last of Us 1 ends. Starts off with Joel talking to Tommy, his brother, about like what happened with him and Ellie, and like I think they're the only three that know about that. Or no, Maria knows too, I think. Right? Tommy's wife? Or girlfriend?
Yeah, I think it's just Joel, Tommy, and Maria.
Yeah.
And then Ellie had. Yeah, Ellie knew at this point because he told her.
Yeah, so like it starts off and it's like, you know, something's up between Ellie and Joel. They're not like, and that's why they kind of ended in the first one, anyways. But yeah, so let's just jump to the big one. Joel, he died.
So Joel got just beaten to death by Abby, which great introduction to a character you play as for the second half of the game by having her killed.
Yeah, so like, okay, so when after you take over as Abby, because with the trailer, with the cutscene, they know that she's looking for somebody, either in Jackson or rumored to be around Jackson. So at that point, did you see that coming? because the way the trailers made it to seem is that Dina was going to get killed, and you were like on a revenge quest for Dina.
For Dina.
That's the way I looked at it at first, and then once I started playing as Abby, and I was like, I don't like the way this is going. So,
and she was like hell-bent on one way or another getting to Jackson, whether she had to like kill someone on patrol or take them hostage or something.
Yeah.
So I figured whatever was going to happen in the first few hours of the game, and we're going to take it from there.
Yeah.
But one of the big criticisms of that kickoff point of the game where Joel dies is people were like, well, why the hell is Joel so trustful of these complete strangers that let him into his house or let him into their house? And like I read some stuff and I was like, well yeah, like he's more trusting now than he was 5 years ago because he's been in a settlement for 5 years and they've been letting people in for years and years and kind of taking people in as their own and building a community. So like obviously you're not going to be as
and they're not like a what's the word? Not cult, but they're not like a
they're not bandit looking, you know.
Yeah, they're not bandits. They're not like the Seraphites or whatever that you meet later on, or like the Rattlers or whatever.
Scars.
The Scars. They're not like those. So and it's been 5 years. So he's probably softened up a little bit as well, because they're other than clearing out their area around Jackson, they're not going out anywhere for the most part. I'm sure they go get supplies and stuff, but they're mainly just sticking to their routes around Jackson to clear the infected. So, at that point, you're playing as Abby, and you run into that massive horde, which was an awesome moment.
Yeah, that was so cool.
And then you run into Joel and Tommy, and at this point, you got hundreds of infected or whatever chasing after you. Like and this person you meet says, "Hey, I've got a settlement up the way. We cleared this mansion. Let's go." Of course. What else are you gonna do? So
you have no other option.
Yeah, I guess at that point, after they defeated them at the gate, they could have left. But like you said, it's been 5 years. They don't really have no reason to trust him until he gets inside, and they say their names, and oh my god, it's just was such an intense moment.
It just snapped like that, and suddenly they were all.
Yeah, he says It sounds like you know us, and then you just hear the shotgun blast, and Joel's leg almost completely comes off.
Shotgun blast.
Yeah, as soon as she shot him, and it showed it, I was like, he's not gonna make this. Because there's no way he would have to. If he made it, he would have to lose his leg because it was just almost gone.
Oh, I forgot that happened. I forgot she shotgunned him to the leg first.
Yeah. Super intense
Ellie,
moment.
So it's Tommy and Joel there with everybody, and then Ellie shows up, and then she gets knocked down, and you're kind of seeing from her perspective, but you see Joel getting skull bashed in essentially by Abby.
Yeah.
What were you thinking at this point? Were you pretty shocked, or did you?
Yeah, I was pretty shocked. At this point, you have no idea who these people are. You don't know what their motive is, and the fact that they just super murdered him. They just she wanted to make him suffer. She told him to tie his leg up so he wouldn't bleed out. She wanted every little second of him suffering or whatever. So yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So yeah, what a way to start that game off,
they spared Tommy and Ellie.
Yeah,
so they obviously weren't cold-blooded killers.
Yeah, they weren't cult-like. They weren't cold-blooded killers. They weren't your random bandit or thugs that you kind of meet going through the first Last of Us. But yeah, it was super brutal, and super much. It was a big downer to start that game off with. Um, I wasn't expecting it to be that way, but then after I started playing, I was like, yeah, I think Joel's probably gonna die here very shortly. So,
Because like what else could the story go like from there? Like, if Joel hadn't have died, like what would you be doing in the story?
yeah, because at
You
this
know?
point, Dina and Ellie aren't really established as like a couple, and they had just had like their first kiss at that dance the night before. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just didn't see that wouldn't be like a strong enough motivator for that. So yeah, at that point, I was like,
Yeah.
Joel's got to die. That's the only reason why she would ever leave. So, yeah, crazy.
Yep. And then
And then
the minute
and
she
then
left.
yeah, and then she leaves, and yeah, that was crazy. Well, Tommy leaves first or whatever, and so you're kind of going after Tommy with Dina. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then I really did like when you got to like the downtown Seattle. It was kind of like an open world esque environment. That was super cool. Like being able to like go into the random buildings and stuff and find like some loot and stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, going into the bank,
Hmm.
clearing out all the zombies and finding the safe, and then coming out and there's still being more that jump down. Like that was pretty sick.
Yeah,
And then
it's been a long time since I played a game where I read every single like note I could find. Like a lot of times
yeah.
I'll just skip it, but that world is so interesting to me that if they
Mm-hmm.
made a Last of Us 3 or some sort of like I really want to see the game like very very early on in like in the outbreak. I know we got a little bit of it in the
Yeah.
first game, but I would love to see like a prequel or something. Um,
Yeah. Because like all you see is like, you know, the world frozen in time at 2013. So like, I don't know. I would love to. Yeah, like you said, I would love to see like a game going on during the start of the infection, and
yeah.
it would be like it wouldn't be as complicated of a game because you don't have, those, you don't have the stalkers, and you don't
Right.
have the bloaters and all those, because like those happen over time.
Hmm.
You just have like the straight up zombies, so it'd be a
Yeah.
less complicated game, but I think it'll be really really cool,
Yeah.
or at least
Yeah.
maybe like a DLC.
Yeah. I think Neil Druckmann, the director, said that they didn't plan on doing any sort of like DLC like that, like they did with the Left Behind or whatever for the first game, which is kind of a bummer. I would love to see some sort of single player DLC with this, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. We're kind of trying to jump to the story and kind of remember.
So downtown Seattle, you're looking for the WLF, the Wolves,
Yep.
and um, what do you go to that hotel because you're going towards that hotel,
Yeah.
and
And
Tommy had already been there,
yep.
and he like interrogated both of them and killed them both, and then he was going to the radio, um, or
Radio
like the
station.
broadcast center next,
Yeah.
radio station next. So
By the way,
when did you get
that part.
captured at that point?
Uh, yeah. So that was yeah. So that was because at this point you hadn't seen any humans uh, other than like the group, the wolf group. But you haven't fought any humans, so that was like pretty
Yeah.
intense. You at one point you think you're following a human as like he jumps over the dumpster, um,
Hmm.
and like you get over there, and then like he turns around, he's a infected, uh, but then you're on your horse, and all of a sudden there's an explosion or whatever, um, which
Yeah,
it's
that caught me by surprise, for
yeah,
sure.
but which is because I think the biggest turning point after you start playing as Abby is that the wolves aren't like necessarily like
They're
maniacal
not
and
bad.
but like at this point they set that trap off, so it's like it's a little confusing because they're just like openly attacking somebody for no reason, and I know that someone's been killing them,
Hmm.
Tommy obviously, that's been taking them on, but maybe so that was a little weird, but also I feel
Maybe
like
they were preparing for that.
yeah, and but also I feel like the Jordan guy, I think that's his name, the one that's got the slash on his face that Ellie did. Um,
Hmm.
he didn't seem like a very good person. He just seems like he wanted to kill people. But
No, yeah, not at all. He seemed like a Yeah, POS.
Yeah, and I think that's another big criticism is like I didn't really like I do like Abby as a character. I don't feel like any of her friends were that great of people, or not as I just had more of a feeling for like Tommy and like Dina and the other like main characters that I did for Abby's group.
Well, except for maybe Mel and what was his name?
Owen.
Or Mel, Owen, yeah, Mel and Owen. Like Owen was a good guy, and um he kind of like saw the Scars' way of thinking, and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, they were originally Fireflies, and then they turned into, or they I guess they came on to the wolves or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, then you kind of play the whole game, or not the whole game, but you continue as Ellie, and after after going into the uh, radio station, you see all the hanged people, whatever. And does it ever confirm who actually does that? Is the wolves that did that, or was that like the Scars?
That was the Scars.
It was the
That's the
Scars.
Scars thing, because
Okay.
they did that on their island.
Oh right, they
too.
hang people and like eviscerate them. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And then you eventually make your way to the hospital. That was a really kind of intense part of that game because there was so many people there.
The hospital.
That's like where you
Oh
go to
yeah,
find
that's where you
Nora.
find. Yeah, that's where you find Nora. Yeah, that was a fun area to play.
Yeah, because I think I killed a few people, and then I made my way through the hospital, and then like it's the part where, and it's gonna kind of sound vague, but you go through a door, but you lock it behind you, and like right as I was slipping into the door, um, like someone was walking around the corner, so it was just like I
That's
don't
the same thing
know.
happened to me.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was scripted or not, but it was very cool because I hadn't taken everybody out. I only took a few people enough to get me around the environment. So whether it was scripted or not, it was like a really awesome moment. And there was tons of stuff like that in this game, which is cool.
I did that encounter a few times. Um, I would always like switch to guns blazing after someone found me,
Oh yeah, of
and
course, of
like and
course.
try to go as far as I could until I died. But I was like, man, this is just not feasible with how many people there are. So I ended up trying to sneak as much as I could.
Right, right.
Yeah, but that was definitely like a really cool area. And then that chase scene with Nora.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then going down into the basement where the stalkers are, not the stalk. I keep saying stalkers, not the stalkers. What are the ones that are blind?
Oh, the oh shoot, the clickers.
The clickers. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Clickers.
By the way,
Everything I
man,
said before about stalker just.
just like the sound design in this game is so good. Like the effective like are pretty terrifying at some point. Like, and the
Yeah,
clickers
they
are
sound
just
pretty creepy.
yeah, the clickers are just crazy. I would love to see a game in that universe where maybe not the whole game, but like a point where you don't necessarily have your weapons, so you have to sneak. That would be kind of cool. Um, or maybe if
Yeah,
you
that would
play
be
as
nice.
like a kid or something, I don't know. But see, after you kill Nora and you learn that they were fireflies, that was the motive behind killing Joel. So like she just immediately understood. And I think at that point, do you go back to the theater or because
I
that?
think.
Yeah, I
I
think you
think after
do.
Nora, you went back.
You went back to the theater, and I think that's when you run up with um, Jesse. I think he runs up with you at that
Mm-hmm.
point. I think.
Yeah, because y'all like settle in, and then you
Yeah.
wake up in the middle of the night. Oh no, you find Tommy too. Oh no, no, you do Nora, you kill Nora, and then go to the aquarium, and that's when you find Owen and Mel,
Right, but I
and
think
then you kill them. Oh
was
well, oh yeah, yeah, you're right though. After that, you go back and you meet up with Jesse, and then you go back out.
then they go toward the aquarium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't quite remember.
Because that's where you heard um, Abby was at the aquarium.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so at that point, go to the aquarium. Abby's not there, and you end up killing Mel and Owen, and then Ellie finds out that she was pregnant, like 8.5 months pregnant, which was pretty messed up. Like I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like they were kind of stupid. Like you see the girl that her father like figure just got murdered in front of her. She's got a knife. Like why wouldn't you play it more cool, or
why did they try to steal
or be more compliant or something? But yeah, that whole scene was pretty messed up. And then I think at that point, do you instantly just go back to the theater, or is there any more gameplay at that point? I don't know if there is.
There's one thing about this game is like there's no gameplay of you going back.
No, there's not.
It's like, oh, was the way back just like super easy?
Everybody's dead.
Hard on the way there. yeah, I guess. Yeah, you just like instantly go back to the theater.
Okay. Then at that point, that's when Abby shows up, right?
That's when Abby shows up. You and Jesse bust through the door.
He instantly gets killed.
Shot
that's like, which is a bummer, man, because like he was like a pretty cool, like laid back character, very chill. Whatever. Like it was a great character.
God, I hate that he died. Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people in this game just get instantly murdered. Like there's no, I don't know. So yeah, Abby kills Jesse. Has got Tommy by gunpoint, and then points the gun up at Ellie and said, "You killed my friends." Blah blah blah. Or she said like, "I spared you" or something like that. And so, and then
switches to Abby's side of the story.
Yeah, like 3-4 days before that happens.
Yeah, so you play Seattle day 1, day 2, and day 3 as Abby.
Yep.
Instead of Ellie.
Very I really did enjoy, because at first I started unlocking stuff and I was like, well, I feel like this isn't gonna be super long. And then like the skill tree kept opening up and I was like, man, I do like the guns better in Abby's playthrough. Like when you get the flamethrower and stuff and the crossbow.
I love the crossbow and the fact that you can like actually like pull arrows out of bodies.
Yes, that was super helpful.
Or more frequently, I guess.
Yeah. I really did like her. I like how everything kind of intertwined with Ellie's story. I'm trying to just think of like the major story beats.
Day 1 like starts in the stadium.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a really cool look into the WLF world. And
it's like everyone seems like they're genuine people except for Isaac. He just seems like a horrible person. He just like tortures everybody. I feel like a lot of good.
When you first meet him, like when we first meet him, he's torturing somebody.
Yeah. So. I feel like he cares about like territory than a lot of his followers do. Like Abby, you never get that sense that Abby, Owen, Mel really have that passion for controlling territory or whatever. Yes, they're even at one point I think Mel calls Abby like the top scar killer or something, but you just never got that vibe. And yeah, it's just kind of like the whole campaign is like you started off and you're just like, God, I hate this girl. Like I can't wait for Ellie to
Why am I playing with her?
And then why am I playing with her? This is stupid. And then you kind of, or at least for me, like I really enjoyed her as a character.
Yeah, especially so like I just want to like talk about the dynamic between like her, Owen, and Mel. Like when they were leaving on the truck, like you could tell that Mel didn't like her and she didn't really like Mel.
Yeah, well, Owen wasn't part of that yet. He was off doing something else. It was Mel, Abby, and I think Manny is his name.
Manny, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could tell that there was some sort of history between.
And then you find out that, Owen and Abby were at one point a thing, and I guess Abby just couldn't handle being in a relationship because of what happened to her father.
Yeah, but they have like their day 1 You get ambushed by Scar, and then
Yep.
you're scavenging, and you're going towards. I think what's your goal like at first with Manny?
I think you're out patrolling, and they end up taking you to one of their bases or whatever. Because I think you're at that gas station at one point, and all the Scars start attacking you. And then, and then your people come and save you, and they take you to the. And I think that's when I think Mel got hurt or something, and she gets getting taken care of. And I think you and Manny take off. I can't remember who they're. I think you find out that a couple of your friends have died or something, and Nora's there, and she doesn't want you to tell anybody or something like that. But I can't remember where they go after that.
I think Manny like sends you off because you know what, you're going after Owen at that point, and Manny helps you sneak out of the city.
That's right. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah.
Then you're on your own, and it's. I think it's still day one, but at that point you get captured by Scar.
Yep, by Scars.
Yep, and that's when you meet
Yara and Lev.
Yara and Lev. That's what. Yeah.
Yep.
And that was a cool cutscene.
Yeah, that's the one that they had played in the trailer or whatever.
The one that made no sense contextually, like when you saw the trailer.
Yeah, and it still really didn't make sense until you actually learned like why they got like exiled. But yeah, it's still a brutal scene, man. When she gets like her arm crushed by that hammer.
Yeah, my God, that was. Yeah, that was so brutal.
Yeah.
Like when Alicia was watching that too, and she was like, "Man, I'm so worried about that arm."
Oh yeah, it was like smashed, and then you end up teaming up with them two and kind of make your way, and then you kind of, I wouldn't say abandon, but you leave them at a like a little mobile home.
Pretty close to the aquarium.
Yeah, in this like container, like it looks like a shipyard maybe, something like that. And you say bye to them, and then after that you get to the aquarium and meet up with Owen. Yep.
And have sex with him.
Yep. Yeah, and then you kind of wake up and you're like, I don't know. She just had like, I don't know, her heart grew 3 times big that day or something because she, I guess, regrets leaving the kids at that place.
Yeah. And so you get back and find them, and that's when you get the crossbow.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure.
No, you get the crossbow on the ship, the wrecked ship or whatever.
Leading towards the aquarium.
Yeah, and that was a pretty cool moment, like learning like what happened on the ship and the infection that spread and stuff like that.
That was a really cool section.
Yeah, that was cool. One thing about this game is there wasn't really an area where I hated. Like even the very minor sewer like levels you had, they weren't bad. Or underground stuff. I never really had that moment of like I would never want to play this again.
There's an area I didn't like that's later on in the game.
Okay,
we'll get to.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm just misremembering, but I can't think.
But nothing up to this point that I explicitly didn't like.
So you meet back up with Yara and Lev, and she's not doing good. Yeah,
she looks terrible. Her arm is like completely red or blue or purple or whatever it was.
Yeah, it looked like a lobster. It was like pure red.
Yeah. So you take them back to the aquarium, and Mel's there.
Yep, Mel showed up. Then you find out she has the composite fracture or whatever. Like her bone is just shattered, so it's got to come off.
Yeah, so. And she has a medical condition too, where if she breaks anything like that, then I think the blood or something terrible happens with your veins or something.
Oh, I didn't must not have heard that part.
Yeah, what was that condition? Compartment syndrome.
Oh, that's where like that's because the bone was shattered.
But it's a condition though, I think.
Oh, is it really?
That's like present throughout your life.
Oh
no,
okay.
It's not. Okay, never mind. I lied.
Okay, I thought it was just because like her bones got shattered and it just
Sorry, I have my designated fact checker over here.
Nice. So yeah, you set off for the hospital to go
With
get
Lev.
supplies. Yeah, with Lev.
Which
That whole area was super intense. I don't know how you felt about it,
yeah,
but it was really cool.
I loved it. Like the skyscraper portion where
Yeah.
you're just like traveling upwards and upward, and you can like I could feel the fear like on
Yeah.
Abby's voice whenever she said something, and I thought like that was like one of the best like voice acting
Hmm.
I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, Laura Bailey's and she's done a lot of stuff, but yeah, she killed it as
Mhm.
Abby.
She
Um,
did.
and then you fall through after you're on that, like even that last part where you just have to open walk across the skyscraper. That
Hmm.
was insane.
That was freaky.
And then yeah, you fall through like into a pool or something, and then
Mhm.
uh, Lev lets you know that this floor hasn't been cleared because there's no reason for them to be there. Um, and like the whole building is just decimated, and there's spores
Yeah.
everywhere, and you have to find a mask for Lev, and then you find out that
Mhm.
the I think it was Fedra soldiers were in there, and they were supposed to blow it up, but failed. I think like some of their detonators didn't go off or something. Um,
Mhm.
so really cool
Oh, and
part.
then you find those stalkers that hide in the wall. I don't know about
Yeah,
you, but those got me so many. Like I rarely ever actually saw one in the wall before it reached out and got me.
yeah. Towards the end, I could tell, but yeah, that
Mhm.
the first times you fight them, they almost got me every time. I was like, crap.
The stalkers in general were very, very interesting.
Yeah, because you can't see him with your vision,
With your
whatever.
vision.
Um, but yeah, they were kind of creepy.
Yeah, they were hard to fight because they were just hiding all the time.
Yeah,
But then after that, you get to the hospital, and that's when you leave Lev behind because you're going to the wolf base,
right.
and then Nora leads you to the basement where all the alleged supplies are.
Yeah, there's a floor that they hadn't cleared yet.
This area I didn't like, and
Okay, I didn't hate it. I can see why. It was kind of slow. How did you feel about the boss fight?
I hated it. I hated the boss fight because maybe you had like a completely different experience, but
Yeah,
I did not have out the guns and weapons that I wanted to have out when it started. So like I
yeah,
had to switch, and of course you get one shotted by the boss,
yeah.
and I didn't really have a good um, peripheral of my area. Like I didn't know where I could or could not go, so I thought it was just that main circle around him. I didn't know you could jump into
Yeah,
different rooms.
yeah. It's quite
Had
large.
I
Like
known that, it would have been easier. But
yeah. That's the first thing I did is like after I got bum rushed by him and got instant killed, which was super brutal. By the
yeah,
way. Um, I guess let's talk about the monster first. Like it's just like a giant glob of like infected
of different
combined
zombies.
together. It was super
Mhm.
weird. But it was cool because like this is like the first infected. So I was expecting something that we hadn't seen before,
Yeah,
which was cool.
that was
Um,
cool.
yeah, it was a really just strange looking blob of infected. But yeah, the first thing I did after I got killed a couple times, I ran to like one of the back rooms and got all the weapons that I needed. Set a
Did you use the
couple,
flamethrower on him?
yeah, set a couple
Yeah.
traps. Used like the incendiary rounds with the shotgun.
Hmm.
And I still died probably about 10 times total with this boss. He
Yeah,
was
I think
he,
I died around that.
it was mainly just because of the one shot. Like that got kind of annoying.
I always hate that mechanic
I
in
did, I
boss
did too.
fights. And then did you find that the stalker after that like weirdly hard to kill? I didn't know if yours was still alive, but there was a stalker during the boss fight that comes out,
Yeah, he
and
falls
I
off like
didn't
right
kill
at the
him.
beginning.
Hmm.
Yeah, he
And I
was.
didn't kill him until after the boss fight. But
Yeah, which I don't think you can kill it before. I think it automatically runs off because then when I went to that room, he had ran through there. Yeah, he
gotcha.
was a really annoying.
Yeah, I like used what was left of my arsenal to finish
Yeah,
him
so
off.
did I. I was pretty clean of bullets after those two little fights. I didn't hate that area, but I can definitely tell. I mean, I can definitely like that. Probably wasn't my favorite. I just like more of like the story aspect of like finding the first
the lore
infected.
behind it.
Yeah. So then after that, you get the meds from which that whole scene was cool though. When you get the meds from the
ambulance.
The ambulance, and like you see the giant blob or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
They just rip and tear through the ambulance to get to you.
Yeah.
And then so then you take the meds back to the aquarium, and then the surgery goes well. They remove the arm, and then
I think Owen and Mel are wanting to set off towards
Santa Barbara,
and Mel tells you not to come, essentially. She says, F you, don't come.
Yep.
And then you kind of remember why Owen and Mel were fighting when Ellie walked in the aquarium.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah. And
then Lev leaves.
Yeah. Well, then it's revealed that she's transgender. That she shaved her head because she wanted to look like a boy or whatever, and that's why she was exiled.
But she was going to be married off.
Exactly. Yeah.
To an older guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because they had mentioned something about her. I think her real name was Lily.
And that's what they call it. That's what the scars called her.
And then there was like almost no context or whatever to that. Because I didn't have that impression when I met up with him. I thought it was a brother and sister or something. So and after they reveal that, and you're like, oh, that makes sense, and then that's when Lev goes after his mother to try to convince her to come to Santa Barbara with him.
And then you go after him. Just Abby goes after him, and you meet up with Manny.
Yep.
And there's this sniper who had just killed like everybody else.
Yeah, which I knew it was Tommy. I had a feeling. I didn't know 100%, but I was like, I think this is Tommy.
That was a really, really cool section of the game. Like just seeing how skilled Tommy was as a sniper. I
got a little annoyed gameplay wise when I got up into the parking garage. Like I died a couple times just from getting shot by him, and then like the zombies or the infected or whatever.
Rushed by all the zombies.
Yeah, I had to really take my time with that spot because I also wasn't like super. I didn't have a ton of ammo at that point. But yeah, and then once you do the chase scene or whatever, and you go to flank, and then just
Tommy flanks you.
Yeah, and then Manny just gets obliterated. I was like, why does like all these characters get one-shotted?
All the side characters get shot in the head.
And then you end up fighting Manny.
You brawl with Tommy, and Abby realizes who he is.
Yep. And I think that's at that point she's wanting to get back to the aquarium.
And then he falls in the water.
Yep. So that was a cool part, and then then you make your way back to the aquarium, right? After that?
No, I think you go to the island.
Right. No, you're right.
Yeah, because you grab the boat.
Yep. Okay, so you grab the boat and you go to the Seraphites or the Scars Island, because Isaac is doing attack on the island while there's that storm or whatever. So that was a really cool like area as well.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like there was a big field.
That part was awesome. I
completely stealthed that. And
so did I.
Got through without killing anybody. Yeah, that was cool. I really liked the island. I thought the island was.
Yeah. How did you feel about Yara's death?
I mean, I thought it was.
It's like as a player, you spent a lot of time getting the medicine or whatever
to save her.
Yeah, and then she ends up. And I didn't realize that after she had gotten shot the first time that she had shot Isaac.
Who do you think it was?
I didn't know who it was. I thought it was just some random person, but because then right after he gets shot, like they light her body up.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that makes sense. But I guess I just didn't either see it or realize it at the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
and then,
I was kind of sad that she died when we'd gone through all that.
yeah, I didn't expect her to at that point, honestly. But yeah, the few set pieces after that where you're like, which is really cool because you can, when you're in that like building, whatever, and all the wolves are around you and they're calling you out and stuff. They're like, Abby, why would you do this? But and you can also like swim under the water and like sneak around. Like that was a really cool area. Yeah, and then after that, I mean, you're just
You're basically going through the war of the
yeah,
scars and the wolves.
and
That
horseback.
was kind of sad, you know,
Yeah, it's
because
so pointless. Like the whole
the whole war.
yeah, I don't know.
It's like, you know, zombies aren't even the biggest threat, and that's a running theme with a lot of
Post-apocalyptic stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
It's
like
like
the
it's
walking.
humans.
Yeah, it's the humans that they're real enemies or real
Mm-hmm.
monsters. Yeah, and then you go through horseback on through the fire and like all the fields and stuff. And then, how did you feel about that boss fight?
It was similar to the one on day 2.
Yeah,
You know, where you were fighting that big woman.
yeah,
I mean, it wasn't like I didn't think it was too hard because like it was almost exactly the same. You just dodge, hit,
yeah,
dodge, hit. But like, how did that guy not die earlier? Like
yeah.
that guy was
That's
like
what.
superhuman.
Yeah, I think that because I had died a couple times by it
Mm-hmm.
by him, and then like at one point, like you take that scythe and like rip it into his neck, and then
Oh yeah, yeah
like
pull
you
his mouth
completely
open.
yeah that was really gross. Like once you two
Mm-hmm.
fall down, yeah, that was really nasty. That was probably like one
Yeah,
of the
it was
more like
gross.
brutal scenes of that game.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. But yeah, then after that, you just kind of make your way through the remainder and get to the docks and get onto a rowboat or a little canoe, and
Somehow get away.
yeah, everyone's like killing each other at the end. Yeah.
And then you find Owen and Mel's body back at the aquarium.
Yep.
You find a map that Ellie left, so you know
Yep.
exactly where she is. And then the next thing you know, you're playing as her right outside the theater,
Yep.
and
And sneak your way in, and then did not expect to play as Abby in this part. I don't know how I felt about that.
we
Because I
get to
mean,
see you get to see how like scrappy Ellie is as a fighter when she's
yeah,
just like setting traps and
yeah. Which I mean, I wasn't a big fan of that boss fight. Again, it was kind
I
of
didn't
like
either. Yeah.
the infected fight where it's like a one shot if you mess up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like
It took
boss
a
fight.
while.
Yeah, it did for me too. It took me probably like a good 20 minutes to finally beat her. But yeah, I wasn't as like you said. It was really cool to see her set up traps and like being super scrappy. But yeah, it's overall I wasn't a huge fan of that part. Like just boss fights. I don't know, boss fights where you're mowing down hundreds of enemies in that game, and then you're doing a one-on-one. It just seemed kind of weird.
The balance is kind of off.
Yeah, especially with Ellie. It just didn't feel right, man. Like as much as like I liked playing as Abby and enjoyed her as a character, it just felt wrong fighting her. And
And
like,
I thought that was gonna be it. Like I thought I was gonna kill Ellie as Abby, and that was gonna be
oh god, dude,
the
I don't know.
game.
I don't know if I could have handled that. I think I'd have been pissed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you end up fighting. You end up beating her. Dina jumps in. You like almost skull crush Dina. Like she just like, and then she's getting ready to slit her throat, and then Lev is like, no. So she ends up
Oh, and then Ellie said, "Wait, she's pregnant," and Abby said, "Good."
and she's like, right there.
Oh.
I was like, oh my god. And then Lev pops in and was like, no.
Mm-hmm.
And then you end up leaving, and
You spare Ellie and Dina.
yeah, that was really really intense.
Yeah.
And effective too. Like just playing as Abby, and the fact that like after Ellie takes off into the theater, she shoots Tommy. So I thought he was dead.
Oh yeah, yeah. I thought he was like just super dead.
Yeah,
He got shot in the head.
Yeah, and then it cuts to Ellie and Dina and the baby in the field, like in the house on the prairie or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like a year later.
Yeah, at least, with the baby or whatever. Now that was cool. That was like a really cool moment to see, like them happy, I guess.
But you see that Ellie still has like PTSD.
Yeah, of course.
And
then Tommy shows up,
ruins everything.
Yeah, which was like I straight up thought he was dead. So like when he popped up, I was like, yes, like someone lived. Jeez. But he's got he definitely got shot in the head. Like it clipped his eye.
Yeah, it must have gone through his eye.
Yeah, because he's not quite right. He's got some sort of his leg isn't 100%. So he's pretty much telling Ellie, hey, I can't go after her because I just can't anymore.
But I know where she is.
But I know where she's going or is or whatever. And then obviously Dina is trying to make you stay because you don't have to. You can just let it go and then just move on. Like she let you live, just move on. She couldn't do it. She couldn't let her live.
And that's when I was really, really upset at the game. Like I think I would have been fine with the ending, like House on the Prairie style. But
yeah, because at some point it's like, I mean, she's spared you twice now. I mean, obviously, when she killed Joel, she had no reason to kill Ellie. But
she had a reason. She still spared her.
Yeah, and then
she killed all of her friends.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like at some point, like, when is like this revenge cycle going to end? You got it's got to stop at some point, unless everyone's just going to end up dying. That's kind of my thoughts. Like I was just like, seriously, like I want to play more of the game because I really enjoyed it, but I was like, why? Like, why would you
continue?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the PTSD is rough. I get that. Like you watched your dad get his skull bashed in.
Yeah.
And this woman gets to survive, gets to live on. But I don't know, at some point you just gotta, the revenge cycle's gotta stop.
Yeah. And it didn't.
It did. And then it cuts back to Abby and Lev, which I was actually genuinely happy to play as Abby again. I didn't think that we would. And her part's very short anyways. They're looking for the Fireflies or whatever. They got a tip. And you're kind of searching this neighborhood, house, whatever, and you end up finding them.
In California.
Yep. And you end up finding them or find their radio and get in contact with them. And they give you the location of their actual base or whatever. And then they get ambushed by the Rattlers, which I don't know if they, because I turned the subtitles on just when I was playing in the morning or whatever. I didn't want to wake anybody. But I don't know if they ever actually said their names. Did they?
Like said the name of their group?
Yeah, the Rattlers. I know they were pretty much like slaves, like slave trade, like, you know.
I don't know. I had subtitles on the whole time, but I don't remember hearing the name Rattlers.
Yeah, because it would say like beside their text like Rattler or whatever. But yeah, you Abby gets beaten up, Lev gets beaten up, and then you cut back to Ellie, and you're pretty much like right on their heels. I think you start off on their boat, right?
Well, it seems like you're right on their heels, but it's actually like a few months, I think.
Well, yeah. It's a few months, but it kind of pops you up like right, like it's not like another long epic journey. It kind of cuts to right kind of where they are. But yeah, it's been several months now.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're in California, and
Yep.
And it's not long until you find the Rattlers as Ellie.
Yeah, which was also like a pretty brutal scene of meeting them for the first time.
Where you bring one of the guys to the God, what is it called? Not the stalker, but
like a runner or something.
Yeah, maybe a runner.
Yeah, because like you set into a trap and you end up getting flung up in the air and like you hit like a branch or whatever and it stabs Ellie, and she ended up passing out, I think, and then the Rattlers find you, and that was a pretty pretty brutal scene. And then you end up getting like my favorite weapon of the game, this silent stub machine gun.
Oh, that thing was awesome.
Yeah, that thing was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then you kind of
that was a cool portion. And like when you get to the parts where they have the chained up runners, and you could potentially release them.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did release them. They killed one guy, then it came after me. That was pretty cool. But yeah, you kind of make your way up, and you're looking for Abby because you know she got captured. And yeah, I mean, you kind of go through their territory and kill them all, and let the prisoners escape, and they set fire to their little village or whatever they got going on.
Yeah.
And then you find Abby. Did you get fooled by the lady that was like being hung up and she had like the ponytail?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
I thought that was Abby at first.
Yeah, I think maybe the game probably makes you think that. And then you turn around and you look at Abby and you're like, oh God, it has been like 2 or 3 months, and she's just like you can't, like, she honestly doesn't even look like the same person.
The reason they made her so buff in the beginning was so they could
just to take it away.
Take it all away from the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you cut her down and she immediately goes and cuts down Lev.
Yep. And then like says there's boats by the water or whatever, and then you just kind of slowly, because you're still hurt too. You kind of just slowly follow him. And she puts Lev in the boat or whatever, and then is getting ready to take off. And then Ellie's like, I can't let you leave. And she's like, I know.
Ellie, just
like, you've been through so much.
Let it go.
And then you have like this really visceral like knife fight where you're just slashing away at her. Like I felt so bad just fighting. I was like, I don't want to kill her. Like, don't make me kill her.
I just didn't want them to fight anymore.
Yeah, like it was ridiculous. Like, just it's over. Like,
and then Abby bites off
oh God,
Ellie's pinky and ring finger.
Oh, that was. Yep. And then you get to like the sequence of her like drowning, and then it cuts to Joel, and he said a couple lines, and then I guess Ellie, she lets it go. I guess she forgives Abby, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
She just kind of has like a revelation and lets her up.
And then she gets on the boat and leaves, seemingly towards that island.
Yeah, definitely.
The fireflies are on.
Yeah. And then you get one last scene of Joel and Ellie, and you come to find out that. Well, I guess we should talk about before is they do finally bring up where Ellie went back to the hospital and found out that Joel had lied and killed everybody.
Oh yeah.
And saved her.
Gave you that flashback.
Yep. And then like Ellie hates because she said, I won't come back with you unless you tell me the truth, no matter what it is. And he tells her finally, because you don't ever really know.
And that was 2 years prior to current events.
Yep. And then he tells her, and she's like, I'm done with you, whatever. Yeah. And then, you know, he says, if I could go back in time, I'd do it all over again.
Yeah.
And
that's powerful.
Yeah, definitely. And then she doesn't forgive him, but she says she wants to work on it. And that's like the night before he dies.
Yeah,
so that was so I guess it was like I'm not gonna lie, I teared up a little bit just because, like, I mean, you don't really know if they got that last moment, and it's finally revealed that they ended it in a better spot, I guess.
And then like earlier in the game when we saw the scene of like Ellie and Dina's first kiss, and she kind of
right
Joel, I was like, dang, is that like the last interaction that they had?
Oh yeah,
before he died.
Yeah, I think he, what was his name, Eddie or Seth?
Seth. He told Seth off and then pissed Ellie off at the same time, and you could kind of see like the desperation in Joel at that point, just trying to.
He just wants to be a part of her life. He loves her, and then that's like his daughter. So yeah, it was very, very touching. So overall, how do you feel about the story in the game?
Well, we should also mention that she goes back to the house
Right. She goes back to the house, and Dina's left.
Dina's left. She tries to play guitar, can't because she doesn't have a couple fingers. And then she leaves the guitar
Yeah,
and leaves the house, presumably to go back to Jackson
yeah,
at the settlement.
yeah.
At
That's
least
that's
that's
what
what
I
I
was
thought.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I also want to touch on. I really love the way they incorporated the touchpad of playing the guitar.
Yeah, that felt so cool playing
Like
it.
no games, like it's pretty much like the map button for every game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always cool to see like developers do cool stuff, and I thought that was like really cool.
Yeah.
You could just straight up like play your own stuff if you want to, like play a couple chords,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just followed like the sign or whatever. But yeah, that was like a really cool way of like incorporating like guitar into the game.
Yeah, it was.
But overall, how do you feel about the story and playing as Abby?
Dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where we've said this before, but out of context, sounds dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, like I did read those notes, and it says that you play as another character or as Abby. You fight Ellie. So people probably thought that the game was going to make you hate Ellie or whatever, and Abby's going to be like the real protagonist of the series or something like that, which is not the case at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought, as far as like the pacing goes, I thought it was really well done. I didn't think it was too long. Like
you didn't think it was too long?
It was a long game. I don't think. I mean, there was never like towards the end. I was ready to be done, just because I wanted to see how it ended. But I never was like at any point was like, okay, like I'm done with this. Let's move on.
I think like the Rattler stuff like didn't necessarily need to be there, but it was very important story wise to show like a beaten down Abby and to see that like literally the second she gets down from being up like on that post for months was to go find Lev, and it kind of shows that like Lev was her Ellie,
right,
like compared to Joel, like she's
and I think that's, I mean, because if it was in different circumstances, like if the Rattlers weren't involved, like I feel like Ellie probably would have just been killed, just because like, I mean, it would have been theoretically, I mean, 2 against 1, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like it wouldn't have that same impact of you killing her. I don't feel like killing Abby would be the better option. I know I've read some people and watched some videos of people wanting that last part to be an option, which I don't know. I mean, this franchise has never been about like a player option. It's just been like kind of the story that developers want to tell, and I appreciate that. And maybe forcing that upon a player at the very end of the game, I don't know it. I feel like I probably wouldn't kill her. So like that's kind of the story I wanted, or that's the way I wanted to end.
Also, people were saying like, oh, like you did our characters, like you didn't do them justice, and you wrote them poorly. And they were comparing Ellie to Daenerys in Game of Thrones, and like I don't think that's the case at all. Like, yeah, revenge is a big factor in the game, but it would have been even worse if she had killed Abby at the end. Like, it shows that there's like some compassion left, and that she's not like going down the same road that Joel went down, 20 years ago when his daughter died.
Yeah.
So it's kind of breaking the cycle of revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, end on.
Yeah, that's exactly that's the exact same thought I had when Ellie left Dina at the house. I was like, "Are you serious? Like, you've got such a good thing going on. Let this be it. I mean, theoretically, you'll never see Abby again. I know it's hard, but like, why would you risk dying for revenge? I mean, what is that really going to do?"
Yeah.
And the fact that
it's not going to help you sleep better.
Yeah, the fact that they she survived. The end was, I thought, like kind of the perfect ending for a tale of revenge. I mean, that's what it was, right? Um, I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that. I mean, between Ellie, Abby, and Joel, I mean, yes, Joel did it he did what he had to do. He's the sole reason why this game exists. And I thought that was because I wasn't sure how they were going to do The Last of Us 2. So I thought tying it directly to, I didn't want it to be like, oh, because at first Ellie was like, well, maybe he crossed some people in his past or something. I'm glad it was directly tied to the ending of 1.
Yeah.
And
not some random thing that's shoehorned in via
right, some
cutscene or something.
So I just thought all that stuff was well done. I enjoyed all the flashbacks for the most part. Like the museum scene with Ellie and Joel was very touching and heartfelt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that game was excellent.
It was really good.
Yeah, I think I liked it better than the first one. I thought they did the time skipping and like the days very well. Like I didn't feel overwhelmed or confused at all. The way they intertwined everything.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And the fact that I didn't know that I was gonna be playing as Abby for like 10 hours. I thought that was just a really cool moment where she just killed Jesse and has got Ellie at gunpoint, and then you immediately play as her. Like such a cool moment. And you're just like, God, I don't want to play as her. And then you
you're
get
so
to know
mad
her
at first.
Yeah, and then you get to know her, and you're like, oh, she's actually like a really cool person. Really not
and her
crappy
story
person.
And her story was very interesting, like with the scars and
yeah,
Lev
definitely.
And Yara. Like, I would play like a third game with Abby and Lev continuing their journey.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having something like that, and they maybe even cut into Ellie and her journey back to Jackson or something like that. I would love to see a third one. I don't know if they're going to make a third one, but or any sort of like, even it doesn't even have to be these characters. Like I just love the world of The Last of Us. It's just such a interesting world with the mutated cordyceps fungus or whatever. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is the best selling PlayStation exclusive.
Yep, of all time, which rightfully deserved. I don't see. I mean, I don't want to like down anybody's opinion of the game, but I don't know what people are mad about it. Like just the fact that you're not playing as Ellie the entire time, that they make you play as Abby.
Like, are you mad that Joel died? Like,
yeah.
The game.
It's a much interesting story with Joel being dead versus Dina or somebody else, I think.
I think there were enough new interesting characters to make up for the death of one character.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm super bummed to see Joel dead because he was such a, you played with him as, in the first one. So yeah, it sucks to see him die, but I thought it was a really cool story overall. All right. Any other thoughts you have on the game before we wrap things up?
Oh man, I don't know. I want to play it again at some point.
Yeah, me too. Definitely.
I feel like it would be a much quicker playthrough, just being able to skip the cutscenes.
Yep, and there's like a new game plus too, where you keep all your stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, I still want to finish all of my skill trees and my unlocks and stuff. So.
Yeah, I'll probably do that at some point.
Great game.
Yeah, Last of Us 2.
10 out of 10, whatever you want.
Yeah, game of the year? We'll see.
Potentially.
Yes, potentially. Great game. Just overall great reason just to own a PS4. Yes, I don't play a ton of PS4 games because I usually get like the third-party stuff on Xbox, but like just Sony just nails it.
This is why we have a PlayStation.
Yeah, like hopefully next month, like I'm a little bit more hyped up for Ghost of Tsushima just because it's a first-party exclusive, and like I'm so high off of Last of Us right now that hopefully this game will be. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna be nearly as good, but hopefully it's pretty great. So we'll see what happens with that game, but yeah, I think that's gonna wrap up the show. Yeah, a lot of Last of Us talk, man. It's good times.
Thank you for listening to
Yeah.
all of our discussion on Last of Us. I mean, it's a big game and it deserves a big podcast. So
Yeah. If you peeped in on the live show, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for downloading the show. If you can share the show with your friends, family, if they like video games, give us a share. Give us a review on Apple Podcasts or your preferred Spotify. I still don't know if you can do reviews on Spotify.
I don't think you can
Okay.
do reviews on Spotify.
But yeah, give us reviews on the platforms that you can. That definitely helps us out.
That's the best way to
get us recognized. Also send us emails at gamingwiththebros@yahoo.com. You can send us your thoughts on The Last of Us, why you hated it or loved it.
Yeah, why are we wrong? You know?
Yeah, why are we wrong? We loved it. So yeah, you can send us any suggestions you have for the show, any improvements that we can make. We're still pretty new, so we're always looking forward to any new suggestions or anything like that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I hope everyone has a nice, safe week. Enjoy your hopefully your long 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, drink some beer, eat some burgers. Have a good time, man.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.